Hello drama lovers, welcome back to my channel. Breaking news. When Zhang Linghe looks at Zhao Jinmai, something changes in the air. It's not just acting. It's not just a scene. It's that rare, fleeting moment when two souls meet through their craft. When fiction begins to feel like truth, and the audience can't help but ask, are they acting, or are we watching something real? This is the story of Zhang Linghe and Zhao Jinmai, two rising stars whose on-screen bond blurred the line between performance and genuine emotion. And for millions of fans around the world, their connection feels like destiny, captured through the lens of drama. Before their names echoed across drama forums and fan edits, Zhang Linghe and Zhao Jinmai were just two young actors walking parallel paths. Both began their journeys quietly, not with overnight fame, but with passion carved through discipline. Zhang Linghe, known for his quiet strength and soulful gaze, brought a calm energy to every role. His presence didn't need to shout, it simply lingered deep, magnetic, unforgettable. Zhao Jinmai, on the other hand, radiated a kind of light that felt warm and pure. Her performances carried sincerity, the kind that reaches audiences without effort. When the two finally stood side by side on set, something unexpected happened. Their chemistry wasn't loud. It wasn't forced. It breathed. Behind the camera, they shared laughter between takes, exchanged ideas about character motivations, and supported each other through intense emotional scenes. It wasn't romance in the ordinary sense, it was a kind of mutual understanding that only artists could share. Directors noticed it. Staff members whispered about it. Fans replayed behind those scenes clips just to catch a glimpse of the way they looked at each other, not as co-stars, but as equals walking the same creative path. Their connection wasn't built on rumor or spectacle. It was built on trust. On art. On timing, that invisible rhythm that makes one actor's silence answer another's breath. And from that moment, the audience was hooked. Because it didn't feel like acting anymore. It's one thing to perform chemistry on camera. It's another to sustain it when the world begins to believe it's real. Zhang Linghe and Zhao Jinmai carried that delicate balance with remarkable grace. They didn't feed the rumors, nor did they run from them. Instead, they let their work speak scene after scene, line after line, with a kind of emotional honesty that made everything they touched feel alive. In interviews, Zhao Jinmai once said that she values genuine energy between co-stars, the kind that allows truth to exist in fiction. And Linghe responded not with words, but with the kind of gaze that said everything he didn't need to explain. Their fans from Weibo to YouTube, from Seoul to Los Angeles, began dissecting every gesture. When Jinmai smiled a little too long, when Linghe's expression softened just before a cut, fans called it unscripted emotion. But maybe that's the beauty of their bond. It exists in between. Not quite love, not quite friendship, but something purer. When the director called action, they became their characters. When he called cut, they became artists again. Each honoring the other's craft, protecting that invisible thread that connected them. The world might have wanted a love story, but what they gave instead was something even rarer: authenticity. As their careers soared, Zhang Linghe and Zhao Jinmai found themselves representing a new generation of Chinese drama, one that values subtlety over spectacle. Their partnership became a symbol of what happens when two artists grow together. They weren't chasing headlines. They were chasing meaning. When fans look at them, they see more than two actors. They see balanced masculine strength wrapped in quiet sensitivity, and feminine grace grounded in fierce intelligence. Linghe often described acting as a conversation between hearts. And with Zhao Jinmai, that conversation never seemed to end. Even when they moved on to separate projects, Their energy lingered in the air. Every time Linghe took on a new role, fans compared the depth in his eyes to the way he once looked at Jinmai. Every time Jinmai portrayed another emotional heroine, audiences remembered how effortlessly she had once melted into his world. Their bond became a cultural memory, one that transcended scripts, seasons, and speculation. And maybe that's what true artistic connection looks like, when two people meet not to create noise, but to create something honest enough to make the world feel. Some stories don't need a label. They don't need to be confirmed or denied. They simply exist. Zhang Linghe and Zhao Jinmai showed us that the most powerful connections aren't the ones written into a script, they're the ones born out of sincerity. Every shared glance, every soft laugh behind the scenes, every silent understanding between them. These are the moments that stay with us long after the final episode ends. For fans, it's tempting to call it love. For them, maybe it's something deeper. A shared devotion to truth, to storytelling, to the fragile beauty of human connection. Because when two actors trust each other enough to be vulnerable, the screen stops being a barrier. It becomes a bridge between them, and between us, the viewers who feel every heartbeat they bring to life. And maybe that's why, even now, every time Zhang Linghe and Zhao Jinmai's names appear in the same sentence, the internet still holds its breath, waiting, hoping, remembering. Not because we expect a confession, but because their story reminds us of something real, that even in a world built on illusion, authenticity still shines the brightest. If this story made your heart ache not from romance, but from the beauty of connection, you already understand what makes Zhang Linghe and Zhao Jinmai unforgettable. So stay here, because this channel isn't just about K-drama news. It's about emotion, artistry, and the moments that make us believe again. Hit subscribe not for gossip, but for stories that make your soul feel alive.